The old man Bill. The old man Bill. The old man Bill. The old man Bill. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality been stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Nathan, otherwise known as Old Man Builds. Guys, I just figured we'd sit around and have a chat today. Man, we got some cool stuff going on. You can see the boxes behind me, man. I sent out some Tesla Coils. Some people out there are going to be very happy in a few days, man. So we're going to keep rocking on doing experiments. I did a couple of verification videos. People wanted to see the one wire and then also the radiant field of the DC Tesla Coil, man. Oh, dude, it's beyond awesome. Even the circuit that I sent out as a verification circuit is awesome. It would need a cooler and things like that, man. But yeah, it rocks, bro. Right on, man. Yeah, Dennis has got some stuff going on with dry eyes. So if you put up that video, man, I'll show it today. We can get that thing going, man. Dennis always got some cool stuff going on, man. Last couple times we checked on him, man. Got a couple cool experiments. So right on from Ireland, my friend. All right. So yeah, what I was saying is that I sent out some Tesla coils. I set up my Hitman coil, which is pink and black like Bret Hart. So that's pretty cool, dude. That thing, oh my God, it's got power. So what I did with the winding is I put clear lacquer on it. And once that was dry, I went ahead and bought black lacquer for it and put black lacquer over the top. I would have preferred black wire, but I can't find it anywhere. So as soon as I find it, I'll be winding them out of black. But man, that thing is powerful. It's pink and it's black, man, but it is like boom with the feel. And then the one wire energy is off the chart, man. You put it in there and it lights it up. I put the wrong size rod in there, man, and I was sparking like an inch off the water just by putting the wrong size rod in there. So watch out for that, guys. You have to keep the power low if you run the one wire energy, or make that rod very, very small, like an 1/8 inch brass. So yeah, that field was hot, man. You got to watch that rod size, man, and the amount of energy. So just so everybody knows, when I generally run it on my ZVS, I'm at 10 volts, not even that high, just 10 volts. And it transfers over there. I make sure that past the first thing it goes into, it's cold so that you can touch it. But don't try to touch the wire coming straight out off that rod. That's a bad idea. If you run it into your rodent coil or another coil wire or something like that, you touch that after that, you're just fine. You're usually good, unless you crank it way up, which for me, dude, I just blew 2 power supplies in the last 2 days because, if you're going to sell the circuit to somebody, you better push it all the way. So I did, and well, it answered back and said, buddy, you need to move that thing further away. So before I sent them out, what I did was I added some extension cables so that they can get it further away. Man, you almost have to have that power supply like 6 feet away. It's insane how much power it's in this thing. I don't even remember it being that heavy, but then I haven't hooked it up to one of these coils yet. It was always just one of my other ones. Man, this one, oh, it's a monster. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, for that, you don't want to blow out that power supply, man. Well, I've had it forever. I've had one of these power supplies forever, man, and it just, I must have blown a resistor in it or something, or halfway blew it, and it's cutting out on me. I'm going to have to get in there and work on it and find out where it is, because it'll go, as soon as you turn it on, it won't show that the field's on, and you're going, wait, hold on, I know this thing's stronger than that. And then you turn it to get to 20, and then all of a sudden everything in the room starts lighting up, and you go, oh, okay. So it was working. My power supply is having trouble. So I tapped my power supply and it was on and off. So there's either a wire that's messed up or there's a resistor going out. So I'll have to fix that. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. Once everybody gets their coils, I'd love it to do a live and just go right over to the lab and turn on the cameras and do it with you, because that would be just off the chain. I was going to do it today, but my power supplies are just not working right. It'd be just a bad experience, especially when I want to push as much AC voltage through some of these as I want to. Yeah, it could be a very bad experience. So you can use AC and DC. So let's just verify what's going on here. If you try to take your wall wire and you wrap it around your coil as your number one coil, it will not work. Okay. You have to put it in some form of MOSFET, or it has to go into a transistor, and it has to pulse back and forth between the two. ZVS works great for this. It's an oscillation circuit. It oscillates it. Basically, it turns it on and off thousands of times per second is what's going on. And as it does that, it works. The AC coming straight from the wall, trust me, I've wound wire around, doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. So it's kind of a misnomer when you say it's AC, but it is AC. But half of it's blocked off. If you see Sean, he tells you the wires right there. You have to take 2 diodes and run them in reverse bias on the positive side, plug that in, and that goes. It's just crazy how it's hooked in, man. But it only uses half. So as you see, your signal usually goes like this and comes down. Well, you're only using the top portion. The bottom portion's cut out. And it goes over. It goes on another top portion, just like that. So you're using like a half rectified, AC in it to get those sparks is what you're getting. You can use DC all day. DC, you could put a power pack that's 12 volts and 2 amps in there. And with this circuit, it'll just light it up. That's what that Hitman coil test was. It was simply a power pack, 12 volt, 2 amps on a DC circuit, lit it right up. If you want heavy sparks, pump the AC in there. That's what you want. You want a variac, you want AC, you want it to be half, like I said, the hump, the space, the hump, just like that. Just the top portions of it. And yeah, you'll be rocking for some heavy voltage. Just to give you an idea, 60 volts of AC power from the variac will get you 13 inches on one of the coils that I have. Not a problem. It'll heat up on you because the I think there's transistors in there. They won't stay for very, very long in there doing that. Maybe a minute and a half. That's about it. Sean says he's got better stuff on his Uber 2 circuit, which is really cool. And if he has that, it's basically he's displacing some of the heat in the amps because he's putting it through such thick copper rods between each connection that it's able to disperse a little bit of the heat but still push the amperage. So that's cool. So let's see. What if you're using a wave generator into a coil? You can use a frequency generator into one of these if your ZVS is not very powerful. And let me, how do I want to say this? When I run a DC flyback, I run a really small ZVS. It's about 350 watts, sometimes 1,000 watts. 350 watts works the best. And that's a very weak ZVS. And it'll go right through there all day with putting the frequency onto your coil with things. Okay? That's pretty simple. When you get to the 1,000 watt ZVS that I'm using right now in my Tesla coils, it does not take frequency very well. So it does not override it because the components are bigger and they're stronger and won't allow it. So yes, you can use a frequency generator to help in this. You have to pick the right ZVS for it. If you make a custom ZVS, you might be better off, but a store-bought one, you're looking at, like I said, a little blue one. They're about 350 watts. That's about what you want. If you want the one for the Tesla Coil, they're about this big, and they're usually about 30, 40 bucks, and they are 1,000 watts, and they're black. So you can tell the difference on them, but they rip it really good. So that one that I always use, and you see all in my videos, they last a long time if you take care of it. Me, I don't take care of it. I just slam as much voltage to it as I want to, and I end up burning out some of those MOSFETs in there every once in a while. More often than not, I probably have like 20 boards of those. But that's what happens when you push them to the limits. I mean, if you just wanted to play for a couple hours, no problem, none whatsoever. DC flyback, you can add frequency to that. All you need is a trigger switch and any type of frequency generator will be able to do that to your DC flyback. That's pretty cool, man. You'll be able to change that as much as you want. It also works on your coils. So if you want to put that trigger circuit in, and that allows you to add frequency to the power cable, then you can put in whatever frequency you want for that, which is cool because when you want to spin magnets or do things like that, the little party trick, then that's all it takes. You just got to put in Schumann resonance. I believe 87.6, something like that, is another frequency like that. That's in hertz. When you get up, God, I want to say it was close to 1 megahertz. It started to react again, and also somewhere around like 800 kilohertz, it was reacting. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different tricks to it that you could do. Different things do different things. If you get a full-on signal generator, you can do how I call them, like sawtooth ones, pulses. You can do the DC, on and off. They have different ways that they work. Do a sine wave in there. Everything works different at different frequencies. So it's awesome as a learning tool to just put that in there and have that magnet there and play with it a little bit and see what it does. Then put a DC flyback on there and run it the same and play with it and see what it does. Awesome. But if you just need to change the frequency in a circuit, that's all you need is a frequency generator, a trigger switch, and you're good to go. The trigger switch is simple. It is power in, power out. Those two right next to each other. They have two other lines that come in, and that goes to your signal generator right there. Simplest circuit you can ever do, man. Costs you less than what? I think it cost me $8 for 10 of them, and they're good up to about 15 volts, 16 volts. Very little amps. The little ones don't do much. If you had to pay like 10, 15 bucks for the better one, that'll get you up there a bit higher. And to be honest with you, if you're really going to push it and you want something to do like anti-gravity or something like that for different types of materials, you're going to want to get one higher than that. You need something that's rated close to like, 20, 30 amps on there is what it needs to be rated at. And you're going to have to get the voltage high too. So it's about 100 volts, about 30, 40 amps. That's what you need on one of those trigger circuits. And as soon as you type that into Google, it'll bring it up. Just say trigger circuit, Amazon. It'll bring you right to the page. So they work awesome, guys. You would you'd be good to do that. Use sine wave, square wave, frequency generator. Yeah, I used all of them, man. I got the magnet to move with the sine wave, a square wave, a sawtooth wave, a pulse. Just about all of them. I think there was one or two that didn't. As long as it turned on and off, I could get it to work. Because in some of those coils, it's just about triggering the rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's no different than the distributor on your car. It's just like this. Okay, that's it. It's all about where you hit it when you hit it. That's it. Which wire it hit. So if you're looking at a rodent coil and you want to spin it in a magnet, all you have to know is where each wire is. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then make sure you hit it in rotation. That's it. Easiest way to do it. Man, that's an expensive piece of machinery right there. I got one that's $10, man, and it works perfect. But I applaud you for having that, man. I was looking for a high voltage one, just for a power source until I made my own, man. It was like $150 for a used one and like $500 or $600 for a new one. I think that was on the cheap end too. Those things get expensive. That's why I like to do the cheap parts. See that it works, test it, make sure, then buy whatever you want and then run it to whatever you desire, however long. Um, let's see. Did you use that huge Tesla coil they built in NZ? Oh, did I see it? No, I haven't. I've seen a lot of Tesla coils, man, that are like taller than my house. And man, they put off some sparks. I wish they would have built them with DC in mind. They could have pushed that field a lot further. As a matter of fact, if you think you can push radiant energy through the air all day, I got news for you. Once you get up to that size, you're going to find out real fast it's not possible like that. You're going to have to run it into the water table in the ground, or else it's not going to work out for you. And the whole reason is any one of these circuits I plug in and I turn it on past 24 volts, my power source is aluminum. Aluminum gets RF hot. I burnt my thumb, my finger, everything this week, okay? Right on it. Well, what happens when you have a huge coil next to your house? Everything in this middle is going to become RF hot. As soon as you go over to it, boom, it's burning your fingers. So running it through the air like that's not really a good idea. Running it in the water table, however, with that rod down the center, oh, beautiful. Then it radiates in there and it'll program some of the water with frequency, but it'll create a massive field that goes everywhere. How do you think Tesla lit up the bulbs in the ground? He hit the water table with this stuff. So yeah, the thing's massive. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them massive, man, to be honest with you. Build it with AC in mind, and it's a Schumann versus ground rod. Make it bifilar. These are the proper steps. Well, yeah. Bifilar is a capacitor, by the way. When you look into Tesla, yeah, it radiates energy, but the bifilar coil, when you put them like this, they create light in the center because there's capacitance in there. Pull it apart, it goes away. Just like this, you could do it all day long. It's a capacitor. He used them as capacitors by winding them. And he was able to set the capacitance in it with the air as his dielectric. So, yeah, that's a way to go. I'm going to tell you, man, there's much faster ways to do it. Use that rod down the center. It's so much faster. It's all it is you're pressing one field upon the other, even with the capacitors used look like this. That's all it's doing. That's all it's doing. You adjust them like this or adjust them like this. You're shrinking the field down and compressing it is what you're doing. And it changes the field. It inverts it. It brings it here and boom, pulls it right back out. It's an inversion. So I do like the bifilar coil though. AC works a little bit different than DC. I will give you that. But I have taken the time to look into it and figure it out. So rather than a Bedini motor for testing, I don't know what the first part was. Bedini motor is awesome, yeah. Use the negative energy that comes out of there. He's definitely using back EMF. He's not using radiant energy as I would describe it, but it's definitely the back EMF on it. He defeats Lenz's law that way. I don't know if you know that. There's two ways to do it. There's the back EMF and there's also the radiant energy. They both defy Lenz's law. Magnets don't work in the field. They just don't. Kind of ironic, man, that you create a field, the magnets don't work in, and the people go, well, we still think it's magnetism. And you go, well, throw your magnet outside. Let's see if it floats. And you go, oh, it doesn't float. Well, you're not in that field. But you could flip that field. Yeah, you could do that. That's when it gets interesting, because once you see the change happens, oh man, then things get interesting, because you go, okay, I take a Tesla, put the Tesla coil, put the rod down the center, I run that to a second Tesla coil, put that into my primary of my second Tesla coil, it now turns on that Tesla coil, even if I took out the number 2 coil and put tin foil in there. I mean, think about that. Aluminum foil, you put it in there, boom, it still worked. Why? Because it's just pulsing a radiant field at that point. So it still turns on, and you can do multiple ones out of it. You can keep pulling that line until it slows down and it doesn't drag down the primary coil, except for in the frequency department. So that's where you have to run a rodent coil, make a break for frequency, then run it, and then you can run all you want. Till that saturation gone in that coil, man, you can run all you want. It's a multiplier. It's a Tesla ringer, man. It is a bit. It is a multiplier. It is a must in any kind of over unity. You must have a coil like that. It's like taking a jewel thief and putting it on steroids is what you're doing. It's monster amount. Right on, man. We're rocking it out. All right. Get some captains in there. Get some trolls and some fireballs. Right on. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting to the point here. The radiant energy is the key to ether. Without it, you're not getting it. That's the fact. You have to, you got to think about it like this. You are standing in a field of energy. Walk outside, sit inside, you're sitting in a field of energy. That field of energy is not magnetic or static. It is a force that's in between the two. Okay? I call that radiant energy. I believe Tesla called it radiant energy. That's the force you got to push against for anti-gravity. Do you have to push completely to get it instant? No. But do you have to create a local bubble in order to produce a field that can push against it? Yes. The conversion is your answer to anti-gravity. If you don't know there's a conversion, you got a long way to go. Because you have to be able to take the field that's surrounding you and give it something to push off of against, right? It's got to force itself off of something. And right now, we can create all the magnetism we want. It's huge. I mean, dude, I've seen some guy that was like 6 foot tall, and they had this magnet that was like 6 foot by 6 foot by like 3 feet deep, thick. And man, this thing, it looked like a wrecked worlds or something. It still didn't lift off the ground. Wrong field. Just the wrong field. Because through the magnetic field, this other field is too weak to push against. So you have to flip the magnetic field to the field that reacts with it. I mean, you're literally dealing with the field that has to do with crystallization and radiation is the field of the earth. It does not create it with wire like we do with magnets. It just doesn't work that way. So you have to realize that. And once you realize that, then anti-gravity becomes a little bit easier to understand. You go, okay, we're not in this field, we're not in this field. All right, we can accept that. We can see those things are true. I can't walk outside and do, you know what I mean, the emperor hand and zap the living daylights out of somebody. Okay, I don't have static electricity like that. I can't throw magnets out there and magically make them float. You know what I mean? You're in the wrong field. You already know that's a different field. So when you create that kind of field and it starts filling up your room and you're going, oh God, it doesn't react to magnets, not static at all. I don't have one hair on my head standing up, even though there's very few, they don't stand. You start to realize something, man. You're dealing with something else. Yeah, just so you guys know, Sean's a little under the weather today, man. He'll be back here soon. So yeah, rock it out, Sean. Well, wish him well, man. Yeah. Everybody, man. Is there any difference between clockwise and clockwise windings? Okay, I have 2 coils sitting on my bench right now. That's one of the next tests. I have a counter wound and a clockwise and a counter. I just wanted to see it for myself if it did any different. So in the next couple of videos coming up, I'll be putting that out, and you'll be able to see it for yourself. Do I think that there's a difference necessarily in just a field? No, but it could be in a vortex direction that the winding may matter. So uh, that's my assumption anyway. I could be wrong at any time, but I'm going to let the test just say what it says and verify it and call that good. So yeah, much love, Sean. Right on. There you go. You see, he's talking about the direction. So yeah, I just want to see that because a bipolar Tesla coil has directions to it too as well. So I just want to verify one or the other, and I'll be happy either way the result goes, guys. I want to put it out there so everybody has it because I've had the same exact question multiple times myself. So yeah, based on the motion electric. Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much we understand that. Yeah, it goes in the flow of the direction of the wire. I would agree with that. That's why I say it's probably in the vortex more than the field, because the field builds out like gas. It just builds out like this. So yeah, right hand rule. Make sure you use the left hand rule, rotate in the opposite direction. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Put them on top of each other in variance two. Okay, forcing together, forcing. You know, so here's the thing. I thought about just running one winding between the two for my primary, but it never works out on the second coil. So I thought maybe, hey, maybe I solder them together. Maybe that might do it. I'll try it in that configuration where one's going to the right, one's going to the left. Let's solder them together. Let's use one primary. If that doesn't work, we're going to have to use two primaries, not have them soldered together, and then see if we can form something in the center. So I may have to leave it apart just a little bit to see it. So yeah, there's a lot of different things in here, man, we can try, and I think everyone's worthwhile. So yeah, I mean, look, I only tell you guys things that I do in testing and the way they're coming out in testing. If I tell you there's no static electricity, I could literally walk over to you when I see you and plug one of these things in right next to you and prove there is zero static electricity in it. If I tell you there's no magnetism, I can do that too. I'll stand right next to you and do it. Guys, I've been doing this a long time. I know when there's something in there. When something odd shows up, I'm going to tell you right then and there, that's an odd thing. And the only thing I can find, the only history on this, is the man that built the Tesla Coil himself is Tesla. And he said radiant. Kept saying radiant, static, radiant, static. Why do I think he said both? That's the confusing part. People think, well, it's got to be static because you're lowering your amperage, you're raising your voltage, therefore it's static. Well, no, because it doesn't work the same way. It's not working the same way because of compression. Once you add compression to the equation, you start resonating between two different forms of energy. You have to understand that. You're dealing with DC pulses on the bottom. You're dealing with a sine wave on the top. Okay? You are literally dealing with two different types of energy. When you do that, you create a fundamental third energy type. That's the way it works. Scalar. I call it scalar. I call it radiant. It's like a radiant scalar field. I think they're interlinked or the same thing. So yeah, that's actually what it is. I'll stand right next to it and show you. You know, we'll put the water wire down the center and we'll put it in the water and I'll show you. Everything that I've done, I've verified. That's how I talk about it. If I tell you that I can take a radiant field and hold it in a static field because I could do it, I'll do it right in front of you. I don't have any problem doing it. None whatsoever. So it's all verified, man. And if you had the stuff that I did, you'd be able to come and do it. If you ever visit me, I'll show it to you. You know, it's the way that it works. And you may have a fancier name than I do, but those are the ones that I understand from Tesla, and that's the ones I use. So, yeah, I only do things I verify, guys. If I take two coils, smash them together, create capacitance, I've done it. I've taken two metal plates, put them together, created capacitance between them. I put a third plate in the center, and then I used a piezoelectric disc to tap it, and it moved like this. and it created capacitance between the two, and it started going like this. It would push them together, pull them apart, push them together, pull them apart. For those of you who've taken physics and understand what this means, it means that you're taking something at a very low energy, compressing it, and pulling it apart for a very high amount of energy. And that continuously happens with that, by the way, when you can use that piezo disc to do it. You're going to start moving it because it's going to want to move the metal along with the wavelength. So awesome. Just stuff like that, man. Yeah, by the way, the scalar is interesting. And it's no wonder it's done in a Tesla coil. So you have this big ball at the top of a Tesla coil, right? Just a big round ball. And then the field goes off. Then it drops off. There's zero field at some point. You take your coil and you go further, and then it picks up the field down the hall. And you're going, man, that's a long way away. You know what I mean? It's still picking up the frequency, but then it's radiating out from that other Tesla coil in a specific distance. Guys, the only thing that does that is like the sun and each planet. You have a big field, radiates out, stops, then you get nothing. Then you get to the sun and it's on again. Those are the only things that do that. That's scalar. Scalar is about temperature and height in the planet. The further you move out from the planet, and it'll change the frequency. It raises the frequency. You go towards the planet, it lowers the frequency. Well, what happens too? You go further up in the planet, your temperature gets colder, right? You go down, it gets hotter. Why? Well, it's the same thing on your scale for a DC energy. If you raise the frequency, you get more volts. Therefore, it passes through quickly and you get colder temperatures. You bring it down, you get more amps. The more amps it's in there, the more heat it creates. Temperature differential is very important in a circuit. I've seen so many different circuits just completely fall apart, just shattered, because they don't understand that if I create a little heat in your circuit, I can destroy what frequency you have. I'll make it bounce up and down all day. And a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. They don't realize they're doing it because they don't understand they have to control that aspect of it. That's why when you look at things and you go, I have a transistor, it's giving me a voltage, it's giving me an amperage, but then it's giving me a temperature. Why would it give you a temperature? Well, you go, well, okay, well, Nathan, that's pretty simple. So you don't blow it up, right? It gets too hot, it blows up. Well, why is it blowing up? Well, your frequency isn't fast enough to pass the voltage through it fast enough, which means your current's too high. So therefore, you can heat every time you have current that's backed up. That's pretty simple. Okay? So what happens if I add extra heat to your circuit? Well, you're going to increase my amperage in there, and you're going to lower my voltage, and then you're going to destroy my circuit. But that's an outside source. It's not internal to the actual circuit. Yeah, but you're going to do it anyway. That's what happens with these things. You go, oh, well, it was 120 degrees outside. My radio blew up faster than it did when it was, I don't know, 60 degrees outside. Hello. There it is. There's that temperature difference that's changing your circuit. You just got to realize it's there. Once you do, it's okay. You compensate for it and be done with it. I was running some stuff through here, man, electricity. A lot of my circuits based on balance. Can you balance the volts? And I have people think that, man, you got to have a massive amperage field in a Tesla coil. That's not necessarily true. If you want something that does sparks everywhere, you want AC and you want some amps in there. Yeah, there's no question about that. That's how it works. If you're in DC, you don't want that many amps. You want more voltage. And I know it sounds contradictory, but you got to look at what you're doing with the thing. In AC field, you want those sparks to come out, right? You want it just flying everywhere. You want beautiful display. You want it zapping everything, the neighbor's cat, whatever gets in the way, right? You're just like, yeah, right? That's AC. That's uncontrolled rage right there is what it is. DC's calm. It wants to go out in the field. It's like Neo standing there just flexing, man. He's like, right? That's DC. Total different understanding, man. It's like we're rocking this thing out. We don't want to break out. Matter of fact, we'll put a top load on it just so we don't break out. We just want that field to get even bigger. Okay? We want it to go everywhere. And then, man, when you start getting this stuff to the high levels and you create something else that resonates with it in the room, oh my God, you will literally have to turn the power down. Sounds wrong, right? You go, well, what do you mean you have to turn the power down? Well, if you turn the power up, you're going to blow everything up because there's way too much RF heat in the whole room, the whole thing. Okay? So you have to turn this thing down. You're maybe at 30 volts, and then you get something resonating with the room. You've got to drop down to 10 volts. And the power level rises as you drop the energy level. That's insane. Why? Because you have two radiant sources in the room. You're not just dealing with one. Wait until you start putting them in different areas of the room, man. Then the whole room's going to suck to be in. Let me just tell you, I've done that. It sucks to be in that room. Okay? You're having different things go off everywhere. You have to shut your computer down. It won't survive that. It's just everywhere. So, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, bigger, higher levels downgraded, man. Some of this stuff, you don't need that much energy. That's why resonance is important, because you're going to pull plasma right out of the coil. And you go, well, it's attached to nothing. It's just a number 2 coil sitting there. But yeah, well, you hit the resonance frequency of it. You go, well, how come it has plasma in it then? Well, it's because the actual frequency is creating the energy, not necessarily everything else when it comes to something like that. Why? Well, because you're drawing it in from the environment around you. Once you realize that guy is over, unity becomes a little easier. You go, oh, energy's in the room, and I just have to use it. Well, yeah, but you got to learn how to tap into it. You go, okay. Just take a primary running circuit with a primary coil. I'll put several of these coils around, and then I'll pull in the energy from the room. Well, yeah, you can. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Not even attached to the primary runner. They're just sitting there. That's what's insane. They are sitting there. They are not attached to anything. No ground cable, nothing. They just sit there. Why? Because the winding matches the frequency of the oscillation of the primary runner. That's awesome. That's beyond awesome. I mean, I've seen a lot of channels say they want to try that and they couldn't figure it out. Because they set their coils, they set their first coil, the primary runner, at one frequency, right? Then they build all the other coils matching that frequency. Well, that's going to be wrong, because you have to put the first one in oscillation, take the frequency that you get on your oscilloscope, use that frequency as the frequency you set for every coil after that. Then you got it. That's simple. That's just running the circuit the right way. It oscillates between two frequencies like this once they're in resonance together, not while you check the frequency of the coil, but as they oscillate together, it changes the frequency. I've had it drop as low as 100 kilohertz in a Tesla coil to oscillate together. It's insane. You build the coil, it's 300 and something kilohertz is what it says it's going to oscillate at. Turns around 240, 250, and you're wondering what's going on. Well, it's because you have two fields going on. You have an outer field and you have an inner field of your Tesla coil, and you're oscillating between both of them. I watched MIT this morning, and they were showing a round coil, just like Sean's, right? Sean's Tesla coil. They didn't make it into a Tesla coil like Sean did, but they did, a round coil. And I could verify this answer that they came up with. The outside field matched the inside field, just like this, together. And you go, okay, well, how does that look on your oscilloscope? Packets. And you go, hold on. You're telling me that the same right here goes on the same in here. Yeah, I am. Because that's the way it's working. Now they're slightly offset in the Tesla coil because it goes up, But yeah, that's about the way it works. In a round coil, they're almost 100% dead on, just like that. Coolest thing in the world, man. MIT verified it, man, right there. Yeah, out of phase. They're not just out of phase, like, here's one wave, and then the second wave goes like this, one overlapping like this. No, they are completely out of phase, like that. Bedini said that's where you put the information in. So if you want to communicate with the crystal, don't you think you should learn that? Wouldn't that be a trick? Put the information in just like that. Mirror copies. Check this out. It's important that you say that. In Egypt, a lot of their science is on the wall if you know how to read it. It is a mirror copy of each other. When somebody says they want to build something 180 degrees out of phase, right across from each other, not like this, not like this, not, this and this. No, this, packets. That's what they want to do. In Egypt, I'm telling you right now, take the Aken. Take the Egyptian cross. You want to tell me to define my own reality? Watch this. Take it, put a mirror in the center. Take the picture from both sides of the mirror and oppose each other. What you're going to find is a round part and a round part, cross in the center, and a vortex going top and bottom. They absolutely knew it was in the center of our Earth. It's a fact, man. It's right there. There's no hiding it. You want to look at wire windings, you got to put them 180 degrees out of phase in order to create compression the correct way. There you go. 180 degrees out of phase. As long as you understand what that means, you understand it. Now you understand the mirrored effect. Anytime you put it in the coil winding, make sure that when you start your coil, don't put it in 180 degrees out of phase. If you want to say, let's all build them the same, no two people build them the same. And there are two classes of people that build this stuff. And just let me define it that way. You have people who are thinking the right way and, read left to right. Then you have dyslexic people who generally go right to left. Well, why is that important when you start winding things? Well, if you know that the person's dyslexic, when they tell you 180 degrees out of phase, it means something different than when I would tell you it's 180 degrees out of phase. You say, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does, because it matters where your starting point is. If you said, I'm 180 degrees out of phase, somebody would just turn it around and go like this, right? Well, no. If you're dyslexic, you take that thing and turn it, but now you flip it. It's an important thing to know when you talk to somebody. How do they think? That's the answer to their riddle. It's right in front of you. You know what I mean? Do they go forwards in their understanding? They go backwards in their understanding? Do they see things the right way? Do they see things backwards? Do they run an NPN like it's a PNP? That'll tell you a big clue if they're dyslexic. I'll tell you that right now. It'll drive you nuts. Because you're going, man, this one goes positive, goes through this whole circuit, and you're just all excited. Yeah. Then you realize they're dyslexic and they trick the whole system by putting it backwards and running the negative through the circuit, and they put a little light on there to trigger it. And then you sit here and you go, oh my God, how did they figure that out? I can tell you right now, most of us out here can't even barely put the circuit together, let alone do it backwards. I mean, that's amazing all in itself, totally off the charts, intelligent. But I've seen people do it all the time. And then people wonder why are there so many coils in this? Why are there no resistors? And why is everything look like it's running backwards? And you go, oh, I get it. You wanted zero heat in the system so that you can use most of the energy. Huh. That was a trick. There's one to write down in your books. That's not in your normal everyday manual. But what is in there in your electronics manual is the PMP versus the NPN. Let me just tell you this. My verification circuit is an NPN. My High value circuit is a PNP. And please just understand why. I am getting the same numbers for both 220, 240 volts, 230, 240 volts, and 15 amps with the same exact temperature reading. And it'll say like can't go above like 6, 10 degrees, something like that, above the operating or above the room temperature. And you go, okay, all things being equal, these things should run at the same amount of energy. My PNP is about 25% higher in energy. Hold on. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. How do you get 25% more energy? Well, because the energy is pulled to the negative through the coil, then to the transistor itself. Well, what's the difference in the other one? Well, the NPN pushes all the hot energy through the entire coil, then back. Well, what was the difference? Well, one was run with cold energy going through the coil, one was run with hot. As soon as I created heat, I had hysteresis. I started losing energy. Put it in a coil that has to do with compression, you're going to lose a lot more energy. You're going to create a magnetic field in the wrong area, boom, you hit more energy loss. So you go, well, I don't want to do that. I want the more energy. We all want more energy, don't we? I mean, look, let's put it this way. If we all had the lightning in our fingers, we'd be zapping everything in the room, right? There's no hope for anything, okay? No matter what it is, you're zapping it, okay? Let's all just face facts. That's the fun part of energy. So what's the difference in the two? The difference is what temperature did it run through the coil? Did it run through cold? Did it run through hot? They say, well, what do you mean cold? Well, when you pull the negative on it, you're pulling the voltage. When you're doing the positive, you're pulling the amps. So what happens? Well, if I pull the voltage through, it goes through so fast that there's not a lot of heat buildup. If I pull the amperage through, there's heat everywhere. And you say, well, how do you know that's true? Well, go look at your car batteries. How thick is that wire that you put there for your car battery? It is massive. Why? Because it's pulling every amp available out. That's why. To crank that starter, you need as much amperage as possible, so much heat as you can goes into the biggest wire you possibly can to handle it. Not true with the PNP. Most people run real thick wires, man, on their Tesla coils. But I can use 18 gauge. As a matter of fact, I use those cheapy dollar store wires, with the little clips on them that we buy and we all like to blow up in our labs. I use those to run my Tesla coil on a PNP. I do it at 40 volts and it'll still run. No problem. It's about how much heat you're putting through it. If I tried that with an NPN, it'd fry it. And it does all the time because I'm pushing the amps to the system. I'm pushing the heat through it. I'm not doing that in a PNP. I'm drawing the negative. I'm drawing the voltage field through it first with less heat. It's really that way. That's why when Bedini says you're changing the battery, yeah, because you're changing it to run in reverse. You're not doing the regular temperature anymore. You're not pushing amps. That's not what you're trying to do there. You're changing the whole entire way that the battery operates at that point. And then you get different effects. Energy's strange when you do that. Would you rather have a circuit with hardly any loss? Or would you rather have a circuit with a lot of it up front? Because in an NPN, you're just blowing out heat. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're blowing out heat. But then if you trick an NPN, and you can, all you have to do is take this thing between the in and the out. Okay, I'll make it as simple as I can between the in and out. Put a neon light. You're going to trick it to become a PNP. That's how you do it. It doesn't go back and heat up the coil. Run it through the coil first. Then bring it over to the NPN, trick it with the light, and that's it. That's the intelligence of somebody using the NPN as a PNP because you no longer have the resistor in it. You have a light. You'll find it all over Unity experiments everywhere. That's how you read the schematic. Everywhere. everywhere. Yeah. It's tube capacitor, but the main thing is it has a little heat into it. You say, well, how do you know you're drawing the heat? How do you know you're pulling it? Well, the ground's hotter than the circuit itself when you run just the voltage through the negative. So what happens? It's not a lot of heat. You don't really notice it. You go out there with the shoes off. I mean, we're not talking forever and a day out here. We're just talking a little bit. So you put that into the ground, man, and it starts to pull it to it. You go, okay, but I can wind the wire around a couple times, then we create a loop, create a choke, and it'll create heat in the system, and I can pull that energy out of that negative a lot further. Then you graduate to the step, well, hey, why don't I just put a little bit of a light bulb on here? Yeah, I may lose a little energy in the light bulb. That's a given, but it's going to pull it through at a very cold temperature. Okay. So how do you know you're an efficient running on that? Because your coil will get colder and colder and colder. I've seen these things ice over right in front of my eyes and change the temperature in my room because it kept getting colder. It was running efficiently. People notice it sometimes when they run a spark gap. They go 240 degrees on the spark gap, but I now have it running as efficient as possible, and there's almost no loss in what happens. It drops down to room temperature as a spark gap. Then you go, now I understand I have it. I finally put the thing in the correct resonance, because what happens when you resonate something to a circuit? It takes away your losses and it starts pulling in the energy from the environment. That's why. That's why you need it. So what happens is it pulls energy from the environment? Well, it changes the temperature because it's vortexing. You can't see it. Man, I wish there was a magical spray I could put in the air and you could just see the sucker swirl all day. It would be absolutely amazing. We don't have that thing yet. But that's what it's doing. I'll never use mercury, by the way. Never. A lot of people suggest it. You put me up a couple of $1 million lab and let me go in there and it's a bunch of safety precautions. Yeah, I'll start using it. Till then, not a chance. Not a chance. Not the way I blow things up, not the way that I push circuits. You just somebody's getting hurt. And I'm not doing that. It's not worth it to me ever. So there are a couple of cool things to see fields. Like there's a person that made glasses out there, and they put some kind of liquid agent in between blue glass, 2 pieces of blue glass. They put a liquid agent in there, and you're able to see fields. Now, we've also seen this with Ken, and he does it, and what do you call it, bug juice or something like that? He puts in there, and he has the 2 lenses, and he's able to see the magnetic field. Ken's awesome that way, man. I love that when he does that experiment. Such an awesome thing. But everybody wants to see the fields and the strength, man. That's what we want to see. The hard thing is you have to work around this stuff and not see it, but you have to know when it's there. One of the harder things man, is when you start holding in fields of energy with it and you can't see it right away, you better figure out a way to do it. Take your radio, map it, put it at the right frequency, and map out where it is. Start making noises on your radio, you can map out exactly where it is. I have a tester that has absolutely 0 batteries in it, but it's a voltmeter. And I was given this by Charlie C, and it has a red light and a green light on it. And it'll tell you which field you're in. Exactly which one. It'll turn the meter, and the meter will go like this all day long, tell you exactly how strong the fields are and everything, man. Awesome piece of machinery, works perfectly. And you can tell exactly which field's going on because you're going to most likely have a static field and a radiant field. And you're going to have to be able to do both. Let's see. Glass, yeah, it's that blue stuff. And I don't think they make it blue now. Like I was thinking, oh, well, just go buy a thing of sky blue vodka or something like that and empty it out and, you know what I mean, look through it. But no, it's not the same blue glass, unfortunately, because then it would make our lives easier. You got to find old school blue glass. So if you're in an antique shop and you find something around the 1900s or earlier and it's blue, buy it. And just put different things in between the 2 pieces and see what it does. That's where I'd start. I mean, I've been to a lot of antique places, man, looking for some blue glass like that. If I find it, I'll put it together. Otherwise, I think the glasses were $150. House of the something. I don't remember. Joe sent me the link. I'll have to, if he's in the chat, drop it, Joe. But yeah, that right there is so cool. I want to be able to buy a set of those and see the fields. If I could literally show you the fields one time and just put it right into the camera where you can see it, everybody's understanding of how energy works changes overnight. That's how powerful that statement is. I could tell you it's there. I could say all day long about it. But not many people understand it at all, even in physics. It's really difficult for them to understand it. Stand in the room next to me and you'll understand it really well. I'll take the same field at the exact same voltage on both. And on one side, when I push it out, I'll fry every computer in your lab. And then on the other side, I'll hold in every single bit of that energy. Why? Because I know there's two fields there and I know how to control them. And I can do it with ease. So, yeah. If you know that, man, you can really torture some people in their lab. They're like, how did you do that? I can't see anything. Well, because it's there. Because you didn't realize it, but it's there. And you know it's there if you walk in between them because it's very good eye, very uncomfortable in that static field. People don't think they're out there, but I can tell you why there's Tesla Coils no static field in it, because I've been in the static field and they're nasty. And man, hair starts raising up on your arms, you feel uncomfortable, you feel like there's extra energy everywhere around you. Man, it's a total different feeling. You step in a Tesla coil field, you're just looking around going, what's going on? Nothing. But then all these light bulbs around you are going off and you're going, what's going on here? So there you go, right there, guys. There's for the glasses. If somebody gets them before me, by all means, make a video and show me. I'd love to know. AI is trying to make a poor man's glasses. Wow. AI. you might be better with that. What was that movie with Nicolas Cage in it? Where he had those glasses that he flipped and had different colors on it. You might be better off with that with an AI. Oh man, National Archaeologist or something like that. National Treasure, something like, yeah, that's what it was. Oh, microwaving someone. Yeah, well, sometimes you're in that field. So the only thing is, I'm not in the megahertz. I'm only in the kilohertz, and it still happens. So, not quite the microwave yet, but I do understand the meaning. It's pretty steampunk looking. Yes, they are, Joe. Dude, as soon as I can get some stuff paid off, people buy a few more coils, man, I'll be buying those because I think it's worth it for the channel. We got to be able to see these fields. Right on, man. Tree frogs no more than AI. Well, sometimes, man, they ask you to train AI, and I turned them down. Right? I don't do not give this stuff away for free, and I want no clawbacks whatsoever in what I do. You want to replicate it? It's in front of you. I showed you how. Go ahead and do it. So, do you think there would be any interaction across your coils given their same frequency? I built all the coils the same, right? But when they're in oscillation, it drops the frequency. So the coil that is built exactly the same, exact same windings, everything's perfectly the same, will not be in resonance with this one in oscillation. Sucks, doesn't it? I thought it was the same way. I built them all the same way. I tried it, didn't work. I had to rebuild my primary driving coil to the frequencies of those coils, which, by the way, would have been a lot easier if I would have just taken an oscilloscope reading of my primary coil, the driving one, and then built every coil according to that. It's so much easier. But they will not. They're out of resonance to each other by 100 kilohertz. I know that sounds wrong, but it's absolutely right, because it oscillates at a different frequency than it does by itself on the frequency of the coil. That's the difference between resonance and non-resonance. Once something's in resonance, then anything around it matching that frequency can become in resonance with it. So if I set my coil to resonate the frequency of the steel itself in a building, can I get it to work? The answer is yes. Number one, it's in the very low hertz, okay, to do that. But it has to oscillate at the frequency of the iron itself in the building. That's how Tesla did it in the earthquake machine, and it absolutely does work that way. And no, it does not matter how big the item is. It matters the resonance frequency of the item and how much it's in compression. You see, the Tesla coil number 2 coils just by themselves, they're in compression already based on the way they're wound. Now you just got to match the two. So yeah, it'll take some time, but you can do it all. And as a matter of fact, I thought about, maybe when I get done building some of the coils that I do, I'll make a special set for somebody that you can turn one on and it'll turn 4 other ones on. And you can just play with it and do all the stuff you want, because the resonance will be absolutely perfect in them. You can put on a Slayer exciter, turn it up to 40 volts, set these things 6 feet away, and just watch them light up. Bing, 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 all the way around your room. Be the coolest thing in the world, man. Coolest thing in the world. So, yeah. Sorry, I don't want computers to run the world. I know some people do, I don't. Do I think it's going to get there where they run most everything? Well, they do now. I think I'm going to pass before all that happens, where I'd be subjected to an AI, or the AI turns into a cop pulling you over on the street. One thing dealing with a human being, it's another thing dealing with a robot telling you get a ticket. I mean, that's just going to be just total downgrade of society, because they don't care. The person cares. The person will be good with you. You know what I mean? They're a human being. Robots don't care. They're programmed. They do what they're told, and you get nothing to say about it. And I absolutely will not live for that. Matter of fact, the tech I have sitting in the garage will fry him deader than a doornail in a second. I'll blast their circuits right into Kingdom Come. And sorry, I have no problem doing it. That's why I won't train AI. I'm not training them to do something that shouldn't hurt people. This tech that I use sometimes, guys, it'll kill you. There's no getting around it. Now, I don't show you the configuration that can do it, but it can, and it will. So, no, thank you. I don't need them to understand that, get a whiff of it, anything. They don't even need to smell the gas out of my butt when I build it. They don't get any of it. That's just wrong, man. I'm not into that. Not at all. I like the plant aspect, man, growing more plants, doing some cool stuff with it. I mean, that's totally awesome. I'll live with that. But I'm not into that other end of it. Sorry. Just not me. Yeah. Dude, I've fried so much stuff. So much stuff. Creating directed energy weapons in your garage, man. Yeah, that doesn't go over well. She was trying to make a thruster. Well, it's like it's backfired and blew a hole in the side of your building. Too many frequencies resonating at the same time does not end well for some things. Huh. Like I said, man, I only tell you about things I build in my garage, and I can't show half of them. I don't need the police coming to get me. Oh, sending them to Mars first. Yeah, dude, I would do that. if you want to do robots on Mars, how cool would that be? Let them run into all of the junk and everything else. Heck, I'll send them to every planet there is in the solar system, even Jupiter. Let them get sucked in. I just to see what it does. That's awesome. That's the way to go, man. I want them dancing the funky chicken on the moon. I mean, that's what we want to see, isn't it? We got some entertainment value. Can you control the robot sitting there on the moon for an hour for $100? Oh yeah, dude. Here's my 100. I'm doing it. Okay, that thing is doing the chicken dance on the moon for $100. That's what would be happening. Not science, not anything cool like that. Dude, you'd be doing the chicken dance. Okay, you know what I mean? Playing along to the music there on the jukebox. That's the kind of stuff it'd be doing. I'm not training it to do anything more than that. It's going to take my orders and that's it. And if it doesn't like it, I'll fry it. So that's what I think. Yeah, Moonbot City. Huh. There you go. The robot. There you go. Take up any do the Macarena for all I care, man. That's just entertainment. You're gonna definitely have robots boxing on there. That'd be fun. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't get the whole craze of making them look human. That's just not right. Yeah. Of course, then again, what they do with those ones that look human is not right either. I mean, wow. I know people are lonely, but that's still a stretch for me. I'm not going there. Oh, is it a radium glass by any chance? I don't know. That I would like to know. If I knew, I would have already built it and showed it to you guys. I'd have a giant glass we can all look through and see it. But that's an interesting thing to look into, though. The media would have to sponsor the bots? Yeah. Hot and wet, coach. Oh, with me, man, there's going to have to be a little mayhem out there, a little dastardly deeds, a little whatever, just to make it fun, man. Oh, he jumped into a weird conversation. Huh. Oh, man, thank you, man. Oh, yeah, man, look, I like having fun, okay? I build things, I'm serious. I take a lot of things very seriously, but when it comes to playing it with all the stuff in my garage, dude, I like having fun. And I like to talk and have fun because I work hard. You know what I mean? To me, getting online like this, dude, is like sitting around the campfire, having a beer, relaxing. You know what I mean? At the end of a hard day, you just kind of, this is what it is. Everybody gets their own piece and they get their own way to say it. And, you guys should know from a lot of the guests that come on, I don't get in everybody's business. I let them say their piece and, you know what I mean? They have their say and we all get to listen. I think that's the best way to do it. So, anyway, spin it to win it, Nate. Remember that? I'll buy that for $1. The Running Man show. You guys watch that movie? Old Schwarzenegger. I'll buy that for $1. Guy's on a rope over there, and there's like animals trying to bite his, you know what? Yeah, awesome. I'll be honest with you, man. I'd like somebody to come on and just show me what they got. Just show it to me. Every experiment you got, man, show it to me. I'm good with that. I don't have to be writing everything, but I always ask the question, okay, if I send you the call, if you tell it to me straight, tell me what's there. Tell me what you think is there, but tell me what's there. If we do that, man, I think all of us will be good. I think that's why I decided, you know what, let's sell some coils. Let's get some things out there. Let's let people try it out. Everybody that I talked to and they did the water experiment, they'll tell you there's not much difference in Tesla's hairpin circuit and what I'm doing. And you go, well, why? Well, because the light bulb lights up in the water and you can put your hand in the water and you're just fine. That's why. A lot of things are about exactly the same. It's just, you have to put your head around the geometry of what you're doing, and you'll be all right. it'll work out. I think a lot of us, if we all sat in the lab together, man, and worked on this stuff, and everybody got up to the front of the class and showed it, I think we'd all be a lot better off. I think we'd all see, mind to mind, man, on everything, and that's cool with me, man. Yeah, well, I don't mind taking some flack. There's no problem there, man. Yeah, like everybody else, I have emotion, but I can take it. You know what I mean? All I ask is you do the experiments and let's try. You'd be more worried about who owns the robots. Well, it's definitely not us. We're all too poor. No matter how rich you are, we're all still poor to own those robots, man. They're definitely going to be owned by somebody else. And most likely it's the government because they're going to put them in war first. Then they're going to say, oh, well, they did so good in war. Let's just go to domestic use and make them policemen. Then you're going to go, oh, I have these policemen robot telling me what to do. I told it and gave it the finger, and it broke my finger off. Why? Because it doesn't have any emotions. You're going to end up at the police station. Well, probably not the police station, maybe the hospital with one of these robots that you mouth off to. A cop just sass you back. You know what I mean? Tell you where to go for the day. And then trust me, they're good at that. Man, there's going to be no peace in this world like that. None whatsoever. Send them to the moon. Send them to Mars. Send all the robots there. Happy to do that. I'd rather have the flag with the blue stripe out and salute the men and women in the force rather than have robots in there any day of the week. At least then, even if you have a different side of the story than they want to hear, at least they heard it. They listened to it. You know what I mean? At least that happens. They may not be able to change anything, but at least that happens. No robots for me. Yeah. Oh, I'll be honest with you, man. So you ask about the gravity flag. Let me tell you the honest truth about that thing. It produces a field on the outside if you put the correct energy in it. Not a problem there. It led to all the one-wire energy from the Tesla Coil. Absolutely true. It shows a lot of different things in physics. Okay, with compression of fields, compression of disk, all those things are absolutely true in it. It does every single thing to make it a very high quality, entertaining piece of machinery. The one thing that's hardest for all of us is to get that thing in resonance. It is such a sloppy piece of junk. I cannot put it in a resonance frequency that stays. It jumps and it jumps and it jumps. The thinner the material, the crappier it is. The thicker the material, the harder it is to get this thing to work right. To be honest with you, I'd like to scrap the whole piece of junk and put a coil in there, put my Tesla coil in the center, and just hit it. Because there's a much simpler way to do the exact same thing. I have taken a year of time, broken this thing down in every single way possible to find out what it does. Because how in the world can you build a solid state version of something that you do not know the capabilities of it? That's not possible. You can guess, you can put your own thoughts in it, you can put your own physics formulas in it, but until you find out what it's capable of, you cannot define it. Therefore, you cannot replicate it in your own system. You have to find out why each thing is working the way that it does and what is the end result based on what it's doing. That's how you carve this thing into little pieces and find out every little trick it has. Does it create a field on the outside? Yeah, it does. It creates a radiant field that holds in a static field. If you flip the two in how it's done, will it push the static field out when the radiant field's doing it? Absolutely it will. 100%. Not a problem at all. You cannot use a magnetic on there, high magnetics. You have to use static on those discs. Static, static, static. You have to use the rod down the center of the Tesla coil, put it on the center disc in order to create that radiant field that goes around it. They will absolutely work with each other to one hold in the other. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's there. It's 100%. It's always been there. And You can write a book based on the field effects of it alone. If we could see it with those glasses, my God, it would change everything. But it does it all day. Does this thing produce more energy than what you put into it? 100 per times the energy. It is a machine that works. You don't think it's going to work because you're not calculating how many parts have to be resonant within it. The aluminum has to be resonant to the frequencies going into it. Therefore, every shape you have of compressed aluminum in it has to resonate at that frequency. Therefore, it's drawing in energy to amplify fields. That's what it's doing. There's no getting around it. You can sit there, buy it, and immediately you're just sitting there doing nothing. And this thing picks up a lot of energy. And you're going, oh my God, dude, why is this thing picking up so much energy? And you're like, it's too much. It's pushing one field beyond the other. And then you have to turn up your Tesla Coil continuously to hold in the static field. And you're going, my God, this stuff, so much energy. And you're going, so why is it not lifting? Because it cannot sustain frequency. It jumps 25 megahertz, 1 megahertz, 25 megahertz, 750 kilohertz, 25 megahertz. It likes 25 megahertz for some reason. Okay, don't ask me why, it just does. And it continues to do it. And you go, well, the piezo buzzer cannot go to 25 megahertz, Nathan, except for it's a receiver and a transmitter. Based on the energy you put in, it can. Because you're not putting DC into it. You're not putting AC into it. You're putting a pressurized radiant field into it. Therefore, the frequency of that field does skyrocket. That's why it can do it. Can it do it if you just go plug it in with a DC source? No. Will it do it if you plug it into an AC source? No. When you compress it in a radiant field, does it do it? Yes. That's the trick. It's flat out lying to you when people say that, oh yeah, I looked at it. Oh yeah, I glanced at it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Might as well tell me you wiped with the other hand because you didn't do anything. So sorry, man. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and it comes down to the same thing. Can you create a field bubble? Can you create resonance? That's it. This whole world works on that. I just want to say thank you right now from another perspective. 10 old man memberships, guys. Thank you for that. Thank you very much from one perspective. I really do appreciate that. And I hope all of you out there get a membership to the channel. I'm putting a lot more out there now that I'm building coils. There'll be a lot more coming in the future. But yeah, there's a lot out here, guys. Let me just tell you this when it comes to that machine. If you did nothing else but just play with it for a year, okay? Have zero expectations of it. Just go out and play with it. Throw as much voltage at it as possible. And I mean everything. The kitchen sink, you know what I mean? The bathroom sink. Heck, you know what I mean? I don't care. Throw the dog at it. Something, everything. You get what I'm saying? Only then can you understand something like that. Because I hit this thing with 20 kilovolts, man. I had sparks flying everywhere. Just everywhere. Funnest time of my life. I learned that I have one, fan motors that can withstand 20 kilovolts sitting, a few inches from them. Hey, there's a positive right there. That went in my Tesla coil build. Okay. Bomb fan. Love it. Okay. I learned right now that they didn't do anything. I had it in negative voltage and it absolutely didn't do anything for lift because I was using all the energy in all of the electricity and all the light show, using all the energy. Okay. You cannot sustain distance of disc like that with that much energy in it unless you build the energy from within it. You put it down there on the outside of it and force it in there. It just, man, it's like a bomb. It goes off, just energy everywhere, right? Sparks, everything. A great light show. Don't get me wrong. Do you set 5 of those things up and put them outside in the dark, man? Probably be awesome to look at. Doesn't do anything for you though. So yeah, it really is. And then, is it supposed to be sharp? Is it supposed to be dull on the edges? What are you supposed to do? Well, you got to try it in every way. So is it supposed to shake? Is it not supposed to shake? What happens when it does shake? Well, perfectly silent night, man. If it's sitting on a rope right next to you, you'll never know it's there. I put it in a fog test. You'll never see it coming. But put it on the ground, shakes all over the place. Put it out of whack because there's magnets on it. You get centrifugal force. What happens? That puts that out of whack. Yeah, it starts to shake. You put it in resonance, it starts to shake. You go, what do you mean you put it in resonance, it starts to shake? Well, yeah. Where do you think the shaking comes from most of the time in the video? It's because I put it in resonance. And the whole damn thing does this. And you're like, Nathan, that's frustrating. Yeah, you think it's not frustrating me? I mean, it's the whole process is frustrating. It's like, let me find the most crappy way to build something and then make it work and then torture everyone to do it. That's what it felt like to me every day. You get so close, everything starts to work. Boom, 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 boom. You're knocking them down. You're writing down what's going on, man. You're evaluating everything. You're being honest with people. This is what's going on. I'm seeing the octaves on there. I'm solving the frequency. I could tell you the level of each thing in there, right? Everything. And then it just sits there and looks at you stupid. Yeah, it's frustrating. Sometimes you get it to move a little bit. Sometimes it goes up on a leg or two, but it's not getting in the air. I haven't gotten this thing in the air yet. I got some funky stuff going on with it, man. Changing the level of centrifugal force at certain timing. You go, but that's not lift. I don't want to put it out there and show people and go, oh, well, you got lift. Keep going. No, it's because it's not. It's more of a timing thing that has to do with the centrifugal force is what it is. And it's not the same. So my gravity well project's sitting over here onto the side. It's waiting for a little more of my effort to get over there. I've had quite a few health issues lately, and I haven't been able to get back to it. And I decided, let's do the Tesla Coil thing for a while instead, and I'll get back to that. And one of the main reasons is, guys, is how am I supposed to get people to understand that if they can't understand the one-wire energy? So why not just build something I know that'll work? Why not? Just build it for you so I know it works. You know, you can play with it yourself. You can see what's going on, man. You do it for yourself. You tell me. You be the expert. Tell me what you see. Don't say anything about it except for what you see. Don't give me a physics explanation. Give me what you saw, what you felt, what was in the room around you. Just describe it. That's what I want. I think the more people do that, the faster we're going to get to the understanding, because we're all on the same page moving forward. When we get to the crystal aspect of this, everything will start to make sense. But if we can't get to that level, it's going to be kind of hard. So the more of us get there, the more testimonials you have, the different perspective you see it from. You know, everybody looks at it from a different way. You know, hey, I know you said it sounds like this, but it looks more like this to me. Okay. That's cool, because all of the evaluations have to go into one, and then it has to define it. I don't want to try to define something in a physics term that doesn't belong there, because there's partial terms that work, partial terms over here that work, but together in sequence, they don't work at all. They don't work as that one term or this term over here. There's like, you have to carve it out and write your own term. Oh, what's going on, John? Yeah, just having some fun, man, rocking it out. John came on, man. John's an absolutely excellent guest, and he had quite a few things to share with us. He actually told us about the pyramids before everybody else did, and how they work, stuff like that. And then Liz gave us an awesome understanding of that too. So, yeah, John rocks, man. I like John. Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of cool things, man. Like I said, I'm not telling you anything I haven't done already. So if I'm telling you about it, I've done it, and I can prove it. And that's just the way it works. And the more people do this, they're going to be able to prove it too. With that said, guys, let's look at some coils, man. I want to show this. I don't know if everybody saw the verification coil, but I do want to show that so that people understand what I'm doing. I'm going to set this up real quick, and let me just tell you that this field that comes out of this thing, man, is absolutely insane. Like, better move your power supply. Better move a lot of circuits. Because if you have it in the radius, get ready to lose it. So, oh man, let's just take a look at that. There's a Tesla coil I'm about to ship out. And yes, I do test every single. See a few little niches on here. It's because I do test it and I do make sure it goes through AC and DC. Little clip on there works perfect. Go ahead and take a look. We're connected in here. These are male and female ends right here. So it always comes with this one on the Tesla coil itself, on both of them. This is the ground. This is the bottom of the coil. And obviously this one's the top. This one right here is a heavier gauge, just so everybody has it. It doesn't necessarily need it, but you have it. This right here is something separate from the coil. The coil itself I sold for $200. This is a PNP circuit. Now, I have a custom shroud on here for a reason. I originally had this AMD fan on there, and it sucks. So I kept the heat sink, got rid of the fan, built my own, put a fan on there that can stand up to 20,000 kilovolts sitting next to it and still turn on. So that works perfect. Right here you have two connectors. One simply just goes off to the fan. The other one goes to your power source. Right here, I have a 48 volt power source. Now, do you need something like this? No. I can take a power pack just like this at anywhere from 12 volts, 24 volts, 32 volts, 40 volts, all the way up to 40 volts and 8 amps. And you can plug it right in here and the circuit will take it no problem. All right, let's go ahead and back up a little bit. Sorry for the other noise. My printers are going off and they're not going to be done for a while. Right now we have two little lights on this side. We're going to turn this thing on and see how far we can push these. Now I'm just going to pull this back a bit like this. I'll turn off the lights and we're going to get started. This is going to be fun. All right. We are right now at 12 volts. So you can already see plasma breakout. 12 volts, strong signal, plasma breakout. Again, this is a Slayer exciter circuit. Not many Slayers do this. Here's the light bulb, we're lighting up. We're good, right? Now, let's just turn up the voltage a little bit. Not too bad. We're at 39 volts right now. Just pull these out. Sorry, I went right out of the picture. Look at that. That right there is 5 feet of distance from that Tesla coil. And it's still pumping out juice. Again, this is my Slayer exciter circuit. A PNP. Absolutely amazing. You see how far they are? That distance is huge. And this right here, beautiful. Just lighten it up. Look at the end of that. Everything about this circuit is amazing. Now, I'm going to turn back on the lights. We see the distance. Now it's still going. Show you this. We're still on. The fan's still running. Puts up with it, no problem. Circuit, not a problem. Again, right there, right around 40 volts. It can do this all day. We see the distance of those. So anyway, coil, perfect. Absolutely works perfect. The PNP circuit, if you wanted to buy that extra, perfect. All I recommend is something like this, DROK, and 48 volts. That's all you need is the power source and a little 12 volt, 2 amp, the fan itself, and it works beautifully. Heat sink sits in there. All the wires are tucked up in there. Nice, clean, easy look. These things just crimp down in there. They come off. You can replace it. This thing isn't hot at all. Anyway, hopefully you guys like that, man. And hopefully the customer loves this Tesla coil because it's absolutely beautiful. What do you guys think of that, man? That's something else, huh? Just different. It just works different. So that circuit is there's not many pieces to it, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I put it out there before. It's just a PNP circuit. It's a transistor. It's a resistor, and it's a certain way to run it. It's the custom shroud and everything I print off myself, and the base. Yeah, it you know what? It works really well. Matter of fact, it works too well. Uh, um, Sometimes, man, like I said, I blew 2 power sources with this thing. It literally, like, I don't even know what to say. It pushed out a field so far. As soon as it hit 48 feet, I'm thinking, man, I hit my power source and the thing is like getting hot, right? Well, then things start to go awry because inside that circuit board, you got to remember there's metal in there. So that metal's getting hot too. So some of this energy, man, like, here's what'll trip you out. I've taken the rod down the center and I've used this energy from this thing. You can put whatever Faraday cage you want on it. It will not work. Take a garbage can, put it on top of it, put another one on top of that, put 5 more on top of that. It won't work. It'll go right through it. Goes right through everything. I think lead stops it, but that's about it. This thing's like Superman's vision, man. It's just boom, right through everything. This stuff is, the field that comes out of there is nasty. But that circuit works great, man. That thing is just beautiful. Like I said, the fan sucked before. Didn't like it. You know what I mean? For you, get rid of it. You're done with it. I don't like things that don't work. So then I said, well, I got to make some longer cables for all these people who buy this thing. It's the only right thing to do to people. Get it away so you can keep the power source away from it if you're going to run it that high. Because you never know what people are going to do. Most people just turn things on super high right away to see if it could do it. So I made sure it could. One of the cool things with this was you could take that fan cable that's in there and plug it into the circuit side, 12 volts, 2 amps, man, starts it right on up. No problem, man. Lights up a bunch of stuff. Some of these Chinese Tesla coils, man, their distance is right on the coil with the light, not these. I'm sorry, I don't build stuff like that. Put it up next to it, man. Boom, we are on fire, man. Yeah, lights up burritos, man. I love that, man. Oh, dude, I did hot dogs too. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that. And grapes. Don't forget the grapes. I made the grapes, had the plasma between them, where you see the arcing and sparking in the plasma just like they're in a microwave. I did that. That was cool. My favorite was my pumpkin pie. You know what I mean? We were at Thanksgiving time. We had pumpkin pie, and I ran the energy right through there. Yeah, I did that one, man. Yeah. KVC. Dude, do it to the chicken. Dude, as long as it has water in it, boom, we got it. Some level had water. I took some blue goo that you put on your stuff for sunburn, and it still went right through it. That stuff was awesome. The burritos is my favorite because it held in the field a little bit, compressed it, and made it even bigger. Every time you compress this a little bit, it makes the field even bigger. I love that about this energy. Yeah. I worried because once you get past 10 volts on this Tesla coil, that rod in the center, the size of it really matters. Yeah, if it's too big, boom, you start to get hot energy. I was getting sparks this far from the water yesterday, and I was wondering why. Well, the rod size was wrong compared to the Tesla coil I was using. So, yeah, pretty wild, huh? One thing I'll tell you is just take the, 14 gauge wall wire, the solid stuff that you have, your Romex, put it down in this thing, man, and try it then. That stuff is great. It has an insulation around it. The wire is solid. Takes a little more time to get through there. Keeps the energy colder because it's thicker. You know what I mean? It's not stranded. It's thick wire. So it's going through this thing, man. Way better for you. I still ate those burritos. I probably shouldn't have, but I hate the burritos. They're good. Huh. Oh, the magical beans in there. Oh, that's funny. It's the spices. Probably let out radiant farts after eating the burritos. That's bad. Oh man. Yeah, Brandon was cooking chicken with his experiment, man. I can't believe that. All right, guys, we're looking at the water one real quick. So I always like to, people do it for a certain reason. They want a coil. I just want to make sure it works. Verification video here. Here's a coil, a customer order right here. You want to do one wire energy. You see the rod going down the center. We're all connected. We have our PNP circuit here. The wire's coming down here. It's connected over here to the water and over there to that black light. We have our verification light right here. And we're just going to get this thing turned on and see if we can't get that black light to light up right away. We can see our verification lights on good. We're at 11 volts. And that black light is lighting up beautifully. Just goes right through the water. That's what one wire energy does. There you can see circuit works great. Fans on. Ready to go to the customer. Coil's beautiful. Man, I can't say any more. Everything is raring to go. We can turn it up a little bit if we want. Circuit capable of a lot. At this point right here, it's like a lightsaber. Beautiful breakout. 26 volts. That machine is RF hot on the outside, man. You touch it and you're going to burn your finger. I really need to get plastic knobs for this thing. Look how bright that is. Absolutely amazing. Circuit works perfect. Coil right there looks beautiful, works perfect. We're good to go, man. Yeah, that's just cool, isn't it? You get these things, man, they run. I haven't checked the coupling strength between the two. I'll have to put the gout meter in there and see what it reads, and I'll let you know. But that's just amazing. So I did some other cool stuff, guys. Sorry, I just want to show you this, kind of show off my stuff and what I did. I have a Hitman coil. So for those of you who watched it today, thank you. But you're going to be able to see this. I call it the Hitman coil because it's pink and black. So anybody follows wrestling knows Bret Hart. So pretty cool, man. Check this out. This right here is my Hitman coil. I have my verification circuit hooked up to it. It's a simple PNP circuit. I'm going to run this thing on 12 volts and 2 amps, a simple wall plug-in. Look at that. Everything lights up beautifully. That's just awesomely powerful. Now, let me just reiterate that. That is a power pack. Just, something that charges some of the stuff for your house or whatever. 12 volts, 2 amps. You guys all saw the input to it. That's all it was. I can walk over and pull it from your Walkman radio. Oh, I'm sorry, old school days. What do they have nowadays that does that? I don't know. Maybe your little coffee mug heater or whatever. 12 volts, 2 amps. Your Xbox controller charger, something like that. Yeah, Walkman. We're getting old, man. People forgot about them things. Anyway, yeah, you plug it right in, man, and it lights up. And this is what it does. This is just my verification circuit I sent with the coils, guys. So, yeah, so you can see how powerful it is. I don't even have a breakout yet, but it's lighting up those light bulbs like it's nothing, man. So, it's ridiculous. It's just, sometimes you just get it right. And like I said, that's a verification circuit. It goes out with every coil so that you can, plug it into something, make sure it works, good to go. You want to rip some voltage, put in that PNP and start ripping it. You probably just do one wire energy experiments with that NPN, that verification. I would suggest, if you are going to do that, to just get a little heat sink and put it on there. That's pretty simple, man. Well, dude, I'm 48 now, and yeah, it's boom boxes. Remember that in the 80s? Rocking it out on the bus used to be a thing. Now everybody's just kind of like miserable, and they're looking at you funny where they got the earbuds in, can't hear a word you say. Of course, then again, they talk to me. I'm deaf. I can't hear it anyway, so I just nod. Yeah, okay. Huh? Oh, that's how you're gonna feel. Well, let me tell you this way. God's seen you to understand a lot of good things in this life, and in order for that to happen, a few things had to go away. Is the way I see it. I took most of my hearing. Really had fun, tearing through my body with different pains and things, and no matter what it is, dude, I just keep pushing forward. That's the way you got to do it. So. Same 40-ish. We all don't want to say it. Huh. And I'm not messing with you guys. I walk like an 80-year-old man. There's no joke about that. I have back surgery to never heal, and that's the way it's going to be. But I still got a little bit in me. I can still go a little bit, if you know what I mean. But no, it's not the same. Maybe it'll change if I lose some more weight. So in that thing, let me just tell you this. Joe and I are both doing good on our weight loss thing. Okay. And as soon as I can talk to Joe again, we're going to set the rules and just put it up there. Honestly, man, it's killing me. I'll just tell you this right now. I'm hungry. I'm irritable. And I just want to eat something good just once. And it sucks because I know I got weeks of this left. And no matter how much we do it, it's still going to suck every day. Like, people are in there eating food, and you're thinking, man, oh, you got takeout, you got this kind. I want that. And it's like, you can't have any of it. You can't have any of it. You're getting little scraps. You know what I mean? What's left over on somebody's plate is about how much you eat on this diet. That's bad. I feel like one of those people. I didn't run all day and I didn't carry heavy logs, man, but I feel like I'm eating out of the trash. If you understand what I'm trying to get at here, that's what I feel like. Like, because you feel bad too. You're all like, man, I got an extra celery stick. And then later on, you're like, man, I ate an extra celery stick. I feel bad. I shouldn't have done that. I don't know about you, but it's just my psyche works that way. It's one thing, man, if I just needed 20 pounds, no problem. but I need a lot more than that. And I really need a lifestyle change when it comes to my food. So, yeah, that's good. It's not that I eat sweets or drink anything like that. Sweet. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like iced tea and I like the occasional soda pop. Um, I don't drink tonic water, nothing like that. I do like tea plain, so that's good. I drink my coffee plain, no sugar. So, yeah, I cut out a lot of that. I don't eat cake. That's not something I eat. I don't eat brownies. I do have ice cream once in a while. I did. Did. Yeah. Yeah, teas can be good. Teas are good, man, because they have flavor to them with the liquid. So at least you get something, right? Even if it's like a slice of lemon in there, maybe a little bit of tart in there, it's still good because it has a different flavor. I do love boiling ginger, and you put a little bit of lemon in there, and then you take your jug and you fill it full of ice, man. You pour the hot tea in there and let it cool down. Put it in the fridge for a while, man. A little too much of that won't let you lose any weight, but the right amount here and there, a cup a day, you get used to it. Tastes great. Let's see, a little apple for the teacher. Swear I'm gonna be like that worm, man. I'm calling a hole right through that apple as soon as this diet's over. Not that I'm gonna go eat the world. It's just that I'm gonna have a meal like it was my last one. You know what I mean? Like I'm showing up to the pearly gates the next day, and I'm gonna have me a meal. Which will be probably about 10 bites because the how much I'm eating right now won't allow me to eat that much. Ice cream with distilled water, yeah, that could be good. Yeah, but we're both doing good on our diets, man. It's a good thing. So, tell you what, man, it's hard to know that you can cook the perfect steak and not being able to go out there and cook it and eat it. Or what's worse, your wife comes in and tells you, hey, can you cook all this food for everybody while you starve? Oh, yeah. I want to sit in front of my barbecue and cook all this beautiful food for everybody else while my stomach is growling, and I want to do that. Yeah. Let me raise my hand and tell you how much I truly enjoy that. Yeah. Nothing good at it. But then again, like all good things, man, I put myself in this position. I deserve what I get, and I deserve to have the pain that goes with it. So I accept it and move on. Beam me up, Nathan. Heck yeah. Dude, if I ever did make a flying saucer, dude, I'm picking everybody up and ranking at the party saucer. We would be rocking that stuff out, dude. We would be going up to people over there on farms and freaking people out all day. That would be awesome. We'll go over there, man, play some Queen songs, go over there, play a little AC/DC, little Thunderstruck as we're rolling up to the property. You know what I mean? We'll go over there and just ask them to borrow their boat just for whatever reason we want. You know what I mean? Just because it's fun. I mean, who wouldn't? Yeah. That's right. Oh, man. Yeah, I love that stuff, dude. Just have a little fun because most of the time, man, it's pretty miserable. Sitting around here not eating or being in pain sucks. So, gotta have as much fun in life as you can. Oh, anyway, man, those coils, I'm going to be doing a lot more experiments on the Hitman coil. For those of you who want to know how I did it, it's 32 gauge magnet wire, the same size as everything else, except for you put clear lacquer on it, and you get that dried up, and then you buy black lacquer and put it over it. Now, what would be even better is if you were able just to get the black wire, or if you can, how do I say this? If you can get the lacquer to tint. So I used to do this in cabinet. You put in a little bit of the stain inside the lacquer and spray it, and it'll give it this transparent, cool color look. So it'll be gold on the inside, but on the outside, it'll start to tint to the black color. Man, that would be amazing. That's what I need to do right there. Yeah, that's what I need to do, man. Stuff like that. I love different colors of Tesla coils. I tried to buy blue wire. and they sent me something that the whole spool was exploded, and I said, nah, no, thank you there. I had to send it back. Because what am I going to do with exploded wire? I mean, you can't do anything. I can't run it off of there. I can't. It's completely useless. And they didn't even send the right color. And I've been looking for blue all the time. I have green, I have red, I have gold. I'd like to get blue. If I can get purple, dude, if I get pink, I'd do it. Any different color, man, is what I want. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think honestly, I think that stain in the lacquer is going to be the best way, and just to shoot it on there, because then it has depth in the look. It's like a paint job, like when they paint the black over chrome, and you can just see the chrome inside of it, but it has that black sheen on the outside. That's what's amazing looking, man. That's what I'd like to do. So I got rid of all my lacquer guns, or else I would have already done it. But yeah, let's see. I'm only using PLA, right? Yes. So here's the thing. I don't have heat to my number one coil a lot. There's not a lot of heat there, so I don't melt plastic all the time. If you are one of the people that need a battery cable to run your number one coil, I suggest a little ABS, maybe PETG, run some of those. Not my coils, man. Not a chance. They run PLA, real simple, and I keep making improvements to the print every time it prints out so it can look better. Trying to get rid of various things in them. But yeah, I like some of the dull colors and more of the shiny things. I actually looked into something cool. So I wanted to make a coil where, because Sean and I were talking about this, one coil in the center, a primary on it, 6 coils on the outside. Now, why? You got to understand, Sean and I were talking about that radiant field, just not the radiant field, but just the field of the actual number one, which would be the magnetic field, pulsing out, right? Well, it pulses through everything. And if it pulses through all the other 6 coils on the outside, can I get, a 6 for 1? Can I turn on the one primary? Can I get 6 more coils to light up? I mean, it's an interesting concept, isn't it? Can I multiply it just by sitting there and doing that? Can I just do that? Can I get it to do it? Because I know putting one next to it, I can get that field to come over and start sparking off and putting out plasma out of the coil sitting next to it when it's attached to nothing. I've done that experiment. But 6, what would the fields be like hitting each other that close? Is it possible? Would it cancel out the magnetic field of the primary? You see, all those things, man, come into how you do things. I already have the pipe cut sitting here. I need to get a board and a drill bit that's big enough and put it in there so they all can stay straight up. With that winding machine, man, they're like 5-6 minutes is all it takes to wind something like that. And then we'll hit it. We'll hit it with everything we got. And that Sire is perfect because I can make the rods come down and the whole thing work. But I think that's kind of where a lot of people want to see everybody go with it. Don Smith, how did he do it? I can tell you the secret right now. It's in the coil size that he built it. And the coil on top of the coil on top of the coil. And you could take this to the bank any day of the week. If you can build a coil, put it on there, even if it's hollow in the inside, then put even the thinnest of layers between them. And it could just be the coil itself. And then put it on there. I'd prefer PVC over just a little bit or acrylic. Put it on there at half the frequency, not half the distance, half the frequency, where it resonates again in the coil. Put it on there. Then do it again, again, again until you get to the smallest one, right? You're going to have a monster amount of amps in there. The heat that it creates between each single one of them is going to make the amperage field go up every single time. That's how he did it. That's how he took high frequency, high voltage and converted it into low frequency, high amperage. That was the conversion. The conversion, another way would be if you put the rod down the center and you get that field, you run it to a Tesla coil and a bipolar Tesla coil to the primary. It then converts it back over to a hot amperage field, which it would be like in your primary of your Tesla coil. If you build it small enough, you could take another Tesla coil and run it as well off of it. So, converting is it's simple understanding of where you are and then where you want to be, and then make the conversion, right? If you want to run it, say a motor, well, you're not going to be able to run 1-to-1. 1-to-1 doesn't work on a motor. It doesn't. You got too many amps going onto the motor, it doesn't work. You can saturate a second coil, like a rodent coil, and use it as a bit, or I'll say it's a jewel thief circuit. You saturate the core, and as long as it's saturated, you can pull as many wires off as you want, as long as it stays saturated. Then you'll get your energy, and you have to use high frequency diodes, those Schottky diodes, and then you'll be able to pull it fast enough to convert it in order to put it in the caps in order to run it. And then you're good. You know what I mean? Then you got it. Not that hard to get over that as long as you understand saturation. Tesla called it what, a ringer? I mean, it's not much different. You're just dealing with saturation in a coil. How much can you saturate it without it taking from the primary running circuit? The rodent coil cuts off the frequency switching. Does not allow the rodent coil to change the frequency of the primary runner. Then what do you get? Well, you can change it to whatever you want. That's how it works. Those are exact conversions. I've shown the exact tests on my channel. You can do every single one of them. It works. The cool thing was with me, I made these little coils and the bigger one all to the, resonant values of them. And they started doing things at different heights, depending on where the primary is and the secondary is. They started pulling more amperage out of it, man. It just takes that copper, heats it up, man, boils it, and boom, falls right down to the ground. Right on, brother. Right on. Yeah, a lot of this stuff, man, it's all about the conversion, and then, you know what I mean? Convert it back and forth, keep doing it. And if you can do the conversion, then you start to see the points where, hey, I want amps, so this is the conversion I should do. I want volts, so this is the conversion I can do. You say, okay, what if I just want frequency to turn something off around the room? Well, then that's pretty easy. Your primary oscillating circuit must oscillate at the frequency that you have in any other coil around it. You go, well, piece of cake. I can do that. As long as I know the answer, I could do it. And I'm telling you the answer. That's it. It's really cool, man. Best Slater sire is the one I built. I have not seen another one like it. And I will tell you this right now. Oh, you get a lot of these. Oh, man, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's talk about the Slayer Exciter you see out there. Z44 chip, MOSFET. Takes all of 2 seconds to destroy. Literally. I destroy them sometimes because my soldering iron's too hot. They're absolutely the worst chip ever to buy. I would never buy them. They're trash. All you have to do is have a fast oscillating speed in there, okay? So all you have to do is look at your base pin and see how fast it oscillates. And that's it. Then you take your voltage and amperage and make sure it goes up high. And then you've got it. Run it in PNP versus NPN. We discussed that earlier in length. PNP is a rocking circuit. NPN sucks. You want to pull the voltage to the circuit. You do not want to push the amps to the circuit. So, yeah, you keep burning circuits. 2SA1962 is a PNP circuit. 2SA1962. It is a PNP. Run it in negative, which it's on my channel how to run it. Basically, do not in any way, if I had the circuit right next to me, I'd show you. Do not put it in positive. You want to put this thing in negative. and that means you're pulling the negative to the circuit. And if you do that, you're going to be all right. Just look on my channel, type in, um, oh, matter of fact, one of the last Tesla Coil videos I did, or I'll make a new one for tomorrow and show it. But yeah, that's the one you want. 40 volts all day, 8 amps. You get a field of about between 4.5 to 5 feet all day long. As long as you have a cooler on that circuit, you'll never burn it up. As long as you stay under that limit. As long as you don't go, oh man, let's turn on our Tesla coil, start shoving things down the center of it. That'll blow any Tesla coil circuitry. But yeah, you want that circuit, man. It's free. It's there. You know what I mean? I even put the STLs up there on my Thingiverse account, which I linked to some of my Tesla coil videos, and they're free. You can print them off. You can do all the work yourself if you want. Yeah. Low power for infinite power. Well, it's about how you design it. It's really all it is. Yeah. That circuit's a monster. And I was showing it earlier. You don't have blowing up things all the time. 2SA1962. I buy them. They have a NPN that comes with them when you buy them from Amazon. That NPN that comes with it is 20 volts that it'll run on, and it'll be 4 amps, which you can push through there, and you shouldn't have a problem. If you put a good enough heat sink on it, you might even get 30 volts for a long time out of it. But those two circuits together, those two transistors, perfect. That's all you need. That's all you need, man. You're gonna have fun all day. So that's the one. That's the one for you. Don't take that Z44, throw it in garbage. Those things are junk. I saw somebody go, "Oh, we just add more." No, how about let's do our homework. So that's what I did. Right on, man. Hopefully that answers your question. But that's the one you want. Jarvis, I think that's you, man. Changing stuff again, huh? Is that really you? Huh. Oh man. Yeah, two SA 1962. Let me see if I can pull it up for you real quick. I'll just click on the Amazon and then here we go. So yeah, right here. Yeah, 2SA 1962. You get 2 pieces of those at $10. That's a fair price. And then you get the 2 other ones. So 230 volts, 130 watts. It's a 15 amp circuit. Again, remember this, it's not going to be 230 volts plus 15 amps. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that as you mix the 230 volts at the max down and the 15 amps down and the temperature rating down, they all work together. So the actual number you get out of it, that I get that works really well out of these, is 40 volts, 8 amps, works continuously all day on my Tesla coil. So yeah, $10, worth it. Totally worth it. So yeah, hopefully that'll help you out in your circuit building. I buy those all the time, man. All the time. Those are, yeah. Gotcha, Jarvis. Nice. It kind of helped because you said it was you. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. There's a lot of circuit builders out there that'll overcomplicate the daylights out of this thing. Let me just be honest with you. Buy a 47K ohm resistor and just get the circuit off my channel and you're good to go. That's it. Let me see if I have it right here. And then this. No, I don't. I'll have to find the one I did. Anyway, it's a really awesome circuit, man. Let me hold on. You know what? Just give me a second real quick. Let me just turn off my camera and I'll come right back. All right. Thank you guys for waiting. Here we go. Just screenshot that bad boy and there you go. How you see the transistor is exactly how you're going to look at it when you're soldering it. So just follow it exactly that way. And you're good to go, man. Again, look where the negative is, going to the circuit, running it down to the coil and back. And then it ends at the positive. See that? It's not starting at the positive, running everywhere. You see the red, it's only that little spot. It's running back to the positive. It's going for the negative throughout the whole circuit. That's the PNP. There's a number. Hopefully that helped you out, man. If you get success, come back and tell us, man. There's your problem. Well, if you're running the PNP and you run the hot through it, you'll blow it immediately. Let me just tell you that right now. You will blow it immediately. You won't have a second chance. So just so you understand the way that works. Tesla says you should switch to positive. Well, I'm telling you that if that's what was said, that's wrong. You should always pull the negative through it. Much stronger circuit. And dude, I don't even know if they had PNPs back then. I don't know if they knew to switch the NPN to the PNP. As a matter of fact, I don't think they had transistors like this. When did they come out with those? They couldn't have been back then. In that case, he's talking about the spark gap, and the spark gap's 100% different altogether. If you know how to set your spark gap to the frequency, you can cool that sucker down. Then he's right. See, if he's using a spark gap that way, then you're right. You're using a transistor, then it's not right. Don't mix the two. They do not mix. That spark gap being in resonance is important. If you can get the 240 degrees to come down to the room temperature, you have it. That's the spark gap you want. People think you want this big, gigantic, hot field. No. No, you want that spark gap to be cool, man. You want it to run forever. You want all those little points in there not to build up with heat and all the tarnish on them. Yeah, I think that's a lot of what you may not understand in that. Completely different running a spark gap than it is running one of these transistors. There's no getting around that. Spark gap is different. In a lot of ways, it's superior. I don't run spark gaps because I want everybody to enjoy what I do. But when you do run them, Michael attests to this in every one of his Renegade motor. Way better. Way better. A lot better switching for something that you want to put in, how do I say this? If you want to put the thing into like a Bedini circuit or something like that, better. Spark gaps are better all the way. All the way. No getting around it. Yeah, it pulls in a little bit of the vortex of the area around it when it sparks. Way, way better. Different technique altogether. I don't even think the two should be on the same page, to be very honest with you. My bad transistor in 1947. I don't know which one that is. It's just displacement current. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. In these transistor deals where it's forced oscillation, you don't have to have many amps. It's forcing the oscillation for you. You don't have to have many amps. When you get to ZVS and stuff, you have to have a few more amps. But you got to really remember how this thing is working. It's taking that transistor to run that number 2 coil directly. One wire energy, that rod goes to nothing. Sorry, John asked that earlier. I forgot to answer it. The rod goes to absolutely nothing. It just sits in the center. No connections, not connected to number 2, nothing. 0 connections. It sits there free hanging right in the middle. And it just works and pumps fields out, man. That's what makes it special. But yeah, they work completely different. What's up, Ben? Oh, let's see. 10 milliamps to run its transistor. That's awesome, Ben. What's up, brother? Ben's going to be joining us for some wing eating contests here soon, man. Oh, man, where's that picture? Let me see if I have it. Oh, I don't know where it is, man, but it was awesome. I had us eating wings and Ben in the middle of it. Let me see if I have it here. Oh, if I knew you were going to be here, Ben, I would have had it right here for me. It's awesome. Yeah, but Ben's going to be over helping us with the wing eating thing, man, laughing at us, getting some good cheers and jeers out of it. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait, dude. I'm excited for it, but I know I'm going to burn the living daylights out of my mouth. So, no, man, this whole thing goes to a mess as soon as I flip over to this screen. Anyway, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, man. The event's in like what, 2 weeks, I believe it is. Joe and I, God, it's got to be shorter than that. Probably a week and a half. I think Joe said he was at 10 days yesterday, so that's 11 days today out of 21 days. Oh, it's still got a while. Oh, God. I got to starve for that much longer. This is not a fair world. Oh, man. Still looking for that picture. I got to see it. I sent it to Joe. Anyway, trying to look as cool as we can, man, but I know it's going to be something fierce. We're not getting over that one. Oh, here it is. Take a look at that, Ben. Ben said he would be the magician. He goes zapping our chicken for us. Yeah. So what did you do, Ben? You think you finally figured out? So you don't what? You don't blow up circuits anymore? But you're running a jewel thief with a double circuit is what you're doing, and you have to calculate the exact amount of capacitance in order to do that. The open circuit method, okay? It was blowing up the PCB. Did you? What was the connection part not thick enough? I remember that you the in between the transistor and the power, you were blowing up that line that goes across there. You said, okay, well then why? What happened there, Ben? Let us know, man. I think you were getting back EMF into it if you ran 2 at a time. Connection was wrong. Had both of the lines connected with the switch. They needed to be independent. We're crossing. Oh, got it. Yeah, those things suck when you do that. They should be, if I'm not mistaken, both of them the exact same circuit running, but you're looking to bounce one thing off another and create resonance between the two. So just off the timing, one resonates, to the other, just like that, as fast as they can with the two switching. Sorry. I haven't looked at it in a little while, man. I bought all the transistors and they're all sitting over here waiting for me, and I got started building coils. There you go. Right on, Ben. Well, I hope that works out, man. When it does, come back on and show it to us, man. If you got it, I'd love to see it. I like it when things work. So, yeah, you get those two things. Like anything you put in, there's an oscillation. So when it shows up on your oscilloscope, you'll see it, ring, 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 ring all the time. And then you might see a pulse that starts to come in between them. And that's telling you the amount that it's going over. As soon as you ring, you're boom, 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 boom. And what it does is it takes that amount that it's saturating that field and drives it up. And it takes all the stuff that's compressing the energy into it and making it stronger. So, Ben's just sending one. Right on, Ben. Well, when you do it, dude, I'll give you verification, man. I'll put it up right on the exactly the way you said you do it, and I'll verify your circuit for you and give you all the credit for it. Have you on, and we'll do it together. I think that's the way to go. And get you all the credit you deserve, man. Dude, by the way, your explanation last time I was on with you and Bernie, and we were over there at Mike's show, man. You did a great job explaining your coil. I really do appreciate that, man. You did good. So, yeah. All right, hold on a minute. Somebody's trying to come in. Oh, all right. Oh, wow. Always got stuff going on. All right, guys. I think that's about enough for me today. Hopefully, I explained some things well enough for you guys, man, and everything worked out. So, as soon as you get them ready, Ben, let's do it together, man. You know what I mean? As a team. I like that. So, right on, guys. Hey, if you guys can, donate to Joe, man. Help him out, go mining again. Really awesome. I know a lot of you out there went in there and donated to him. I want to say thank you for that. I want to get Joe out there and get working. See if we can get him out there before he's done with his diet. Yeah, that'll get him. What's a little pain between friends, huh? Oh, man, right on. Right on, guys. All right. Have a good night, man. I do appreciate y'all. Thank you.
The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality been stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. The old man builds. Spheres of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds.